all these World Series of Warzone matches that have been going on, all these qualifiers and stuff, which we're going to talk a little bit about, everyone's using C4. And it actually makes a lot of sense for World Series of Warzone because there will often be, if you're in NA and actually in a competitive league, if you're in EU, you can use throwing knives and it's fine. Doesn't matter because no one's good. But in NA, it'll be like fifth circle, 50 people left, and everyone's throwing a bunch of smokes. So you'll get someone super weak. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Drop Shot Call of Duty podcast, episode number 436. My name is Casey, also known as Razanon. Today, I am joined by Tanner, and we have an episode for you. How you doing, man?
Good. Yeah. Just watching this tournament still.
Just watching the tournament? Yeah, we've been
I've got
doing
a
a
little POV
watch.
pulled up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Watching
the EU side of things.
Watching the Europeans play Call of Duty Warzone. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we'll get
Yikes.
into that a little bit today. Maybe we might even actually get into that more soon on an episode coming up. Maybe wrap that into a Patreon ep or a Saturday ep. We'll see. Or not. We'll see. But anyways, welcome to the show. Today, we have a couple things to talk about. Not as much as we had expected to, frankly. We are getting Season 4 Reloaded next week on the 26th. So by now, the 20th, we were expecting a roadmap or something for, for Season 4 Reloaded, which we have not gotten yet. So I don't know what's going on there. If we do get one before Saturday, maybe that'll be our Saturday episode. But in the meantime, there are a couple of other things to talk about. Now, before we get started, a couple of very quick announcements. We will talk more about these announcements at the end of the show. So if you want more details, stick around for that. But welcome and thank you to all of our new patrons. And as a reminder, once again, we have free trials for the month of June, which is coming to a close. So if you wanted to sample the Patreon at no cost to you, ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and of course bonus episodes, now this month is a great time to do it. You can do it without an obligation, without paying money. Patreon.com/thedropshot. And on the Patreon, we just released a Zombies BO6 episode as our most recent bonus episode, which went live today, in fact. We went into all the leaks and info we have on zombies and what we can expect, including like the gobble gums and other kind of really cool stuff, actually. So Tanner and I will talk more about that bonus episode, as I said, at the end of this episode. But if you're a patron, you can go listen to that right now. So another quick reminder. Next month, Rebirth Island customs for all of our patrons. So be a patron next month if you want to do some Rebirth Island customs with us and with our community. And with that said, let's get into the episode. So, as I said, we expected a roadmap today to cover, but we did not get one. So going to be a bit lighter of an episode, but there is still some stuff to talk about, and we will do that now. Now, first of all, as far as patch notes or changes already in effect, we have not gotten anything, in fact, in the last week, except for one thing, which is a nerf to the C4 lethal in Warzone. So here's the update. This is already live. The throw velocity of C4 in Warzone has been reduced by 15%. Kind of a big deal.
Really?
The radius is 7 meters down from 8. Also kind of a big deal. And again, when you're thinking of a radius, a circle, 1 less meter means a lot. So that's like, it's not the end of the world. They're still usable, but losing 1 radius, 1 meter of radius is definitely something. And then maybe the biggest one, outer radius damage has been reduced to 138 from 155. So it's doing less damage at the extremes, like 7 to 5 meter radius probably. So that happened probably because of the World Series of Warzone going on right now, by the way. When I play pubs, I don't see C4 very often at all. I don't get hit by it. I don't die to it. People I kill usually aren't running it. But in all these World Series of Warzone matches that have been going on, all these qualifiers and stuff, which we're going to talk a little bit about, everyone's using C4. And it actually makes a lot of sense for World Series of Warzone, because there will often be, if you're in NA and actually in a competitive league, if you're in EU, you can use throwing knives and it's fine. Doesn't matter because no one's good. But in NA, it'll be like fifth circle, 50 people left, and everyone's throwing a bunch of smokes. So you'll get someone super weak, and then there will be smoke everywhere. And that's where C4 is really good, because they're not too far to where you can't throw it. But, so you have like a very good idea of where they are, but you don't know exactly where they are. You would want C4 like the most there, because you can get the C4 there easily, and it's going to do a ton of damage, more than any other lethal, when you can be that accurate. And it's great for that reason. I can't think of something I would want more for like those end games, which are extremely common. So that's why it was nerfed in Warzone. Because if you're confused by that, you'd be like, no one's using C4, why'd they nerf it? It is because of the World Series of Warzone. Was it warranted? Probably. I don't really know, but that's what all the pros were saying. They wanted a nerf, so I guess it's a good thing. And it doesn't seem like it's gutted, to be fair. It still seems usable for what they're
they're all mad, actually, because it basically did nothing. They were all talking about how the nerf did basically nothing, so they're kind of mad. Yeah, it's too bad they don't just do more customization for the World Series of Warzone, because I see most of them say, too, like, so much of the stuff should be restricted. You should have the option between a Semtex and a frag. Pick one. Like, get rid of all the other cheese, like C4s you can just toss on top of a building from all far away, land perfectly. So, yeah, they don't like it. And again, it's like they're the ones playing. I would also rather them just run Semtexes instead of getting squad wipes with C4s, which was happening a lot in the NA last tournament. It was not exciting to watch when they're all just throwing C4s instead of using their guns. It's boring from a viewer perspective, so... Yeah, they would be better off just, getting rid of them. So I don't understand why Activision doesn't change stuff like that. But
it is, on the one hand, I like how Warzone doesn't restrict you at all. And when you compare it to like the CDL, like multiplayer, where you're allowed to use like one lethal, you're allowed to use like one gun, you're allowed to only use literally these 4 perks and this one kill streak. Like, you can use a cruise missile. That's it. Like, that's the other extreme, which I find actually worse from a viewer perspective. But from a competitive perspective, that's obviously better. The fewer variables, the easier it is to balance stuff. But I see your point. Yeah. I think they could just maybe nerf it better. Or something. I don't know. But either way.
Well, see, that's what doesn't even make sense, is because you're right. Nobody uses this in pubs. I've probably died to C4 2 times this entire season. So it's like, it really doesn't happen often. That's why it'd make more sense to just honestly leave them how they are and remove this stuff from their lobbies, because they don't want it. So
yeah, the games do play obviously way differently in a custom match versus pubs, so
unless
that's part
EU.
Of it too.
Yeah.
Unless it's EU, which is like worse than an NA pubs lobby. But anyways, other than that, because EU sucks, Britain sucks. W America, Canada, you guys can participate, I guess. What country is Biffle from, by the way?
I mean, he's from here, but what does he live?
Oh, he's from
Mexican
the United
boy
States.
Or something?
That's interesting. Yeah. What about Hisoka? Where does he live?
I think he lives in the United States.
Oh, that's super weird. What about their third teammate, Shifty, or whatever his name is?
LA born and raised, I'm pretty sure. Los Angeles, as I like to say.
California, which is in... Oh, that's right. The contiguous
California,
United States,
which is also in the United States.
Yeah, so that's super interesting, and they're gonna win.
There are some good Canadians,
anyway.
I think. I can't think of them right now.
Okay.
There's a good Canadian or two.
They're not better than
even
Biffle.
South America is better than EU, I think. EU just sucks, man. They're so bad. EU is really good at certain games, not Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, okay.
It's because all their skilled players are playing games that take more skill, actually. That's probably what it is.
Well,
EU dominates all those KBAM PC games, unfortunately.
Is that true?
Yeah.
It's not.
I don't know about like Valorant and stuff.
It's
no. They don't.
English.
No, we're not talking about them. They don't exist.
Obviously.
We're talking about like Counter-Strike. The top teams used to be from like Sweden
Denmark and shit.
Yeah,
right?
weird ass countries.
Yep.
Countries that don't matter because only the United States matters, of course.
Obviously. So, anyways, W America, and also that's it for patch notes and changes we've gotten in the last week. So, not much else to talk about for that, obviously. And again, like I don't know. I tried C4s for a little while in pubs, and they just don't make as much sense in pubs as they would in a custom tournament. So I got off of them, despite them being overpowered or whatever. So I wouldn't recommend you guys use them in pubs, frankly. They can be really good in certain scenarios, but those scenarios are way less common in pubs than in...
I don't like C4 at all, Yeah,
and it's also like I have to throw it, and then I have to like press 8 buttons to detonate it, and then it's like, oh, another one came out. Okay, like I just rather press a button, it goes, and then it blows up. So regardless, let's move on. News and upcoming changes. So
all right,
in the vein of news and changes coming to Warzone, because one thing I would have loved to see instead of a C4 nerf when 1% of the player base is using it, I would have loved a nerf to something 98% of the player base is using, right? Mm-hmm. That would have made more sense and been a little more impactful. We, of course, did not get that, but they did, however, say, Sledgehammer said on Reddit, I don't know why they said it on Reddit only and didn't tweet this, but okay. Luckily, Charlie Intel and Twitter picked it up, obviously. Sledgehammer confirmed earlier this week, I believe like 7 days ago, actually, that feedback heard. The Car 98 balance adjustments are incoming, and we are currently targeting the Season 4 Reloaded update. That's all they said, though. So the car will be getting nerfed, and it will be happening when Season 4 Reloaded comes out. By the way, this is what Tanner and I said was going to happen. We said it was going to be a little too good and it wouldn't get nerfed until Season 4 Reloaded, and that is literally exactly what is happening.
It's
so
a lot
too
good, yeah.
It obviously needs to happen. Tanner and I have been saying this actually since the first time we talked about it post-release, because it's obviously too good. I think the ways in which we wanted to nerf it, or at least I'll speak for myself, I think I had said it just needs a less one-shot headshot damage range. I completely take that back. That would not be enough at all.
No, that's not even close to
wrong.
being the issue. That can actually stay how
close.
it is, to be honest. That's not the issue.
Yeah, that is not the issue at all. Because having played way more since I said that, the problem is, if you're playing like trios or quads and 4 people are shooting you with a car, okay. If I'm getting, the problem there is not that I'm getting one tapped from too far away. The problem is that I'm getting just pelted like I'm storming the beach of Normandy 1 billion times, and then I die. And it's very easy for them to hit those shots and hit follow-up shots. So how should it be nerfed? Not that way. I would take it, I guess, but it wouldn't be enough. What it really needs, and I agree with you, it probably doesn't even need to have the one-shot headshot range changed at all. Although, again, if that's not going to change, they need to increase the damage range of the Stalker. So that's the only reason I still do kind of want it to be brought in, because there's still absolutely no reason to use a Stalker. The Stalker should have a farther one-shot headshot range. So whether that means buffing the Stalker or nerfing the car, do one of them. But on top of that, and much more importantly, the car needs other things as well. Its fire rate is faster than Warzone 1 car, which I saw a tweet about that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. That would be pretty good. It having full aim assist, that's probably, I mean, you know, this is going to be unpopular for me to say. That's probably the biggest problem. But they're not going to change that, so it's not even worth talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely a major issue. But
yeah. So I think what would be good is slower fire rate, worse rechamber accuracy, so that after you rechamber, your reticle isn't in the exact same spot it was 100 milliseconds ago. That would be good. And then give it more flinch also. So if I'm just ripping you with an AR, because I'm an idiot and not using a car myself for some reason, then you should not be able to easily hit me also. I think like those three things would be a good start, frankly. And then you can keep the headshot range like where it's at. What do you think needs to change? Is it overpowered, first of all? Does it need to be nerfed?
Of course, very overpowered, yeah. Yeah, so the headshot range, I don't think that's the main issue, but really it probably should be lowered because we don't really play a whole lot of Resurgence. But on there, it makes a lot more sense for that gun to have way less of a first, one-shot headshot damage range. So a nice reduction to that would help. But it's like, even on big map, I would say, God, probably 75% of my kills with the car, it's a 2-shot kill, not a 1 anyways, because it's the follow-up shot. So yeah, it's difficult for them too, because they could nerf it and make it so it pretty much 2 shots like always. Well, they can make it so it 2 shots like at range and stuff still, but it's fun to use. So it's like they need to nerf it in a way where some people will still use it, because it's still good enough to use, but it's not just like ruined and incredibly boring, because there are things like they could do like slow it down, give it bad handling, but then you just kill the gun and make it not fun at all. Like they need to find some sort of a balance between it being fun enough to use where it's definitely usable, but it's not nearly as broken as it was. Like, of course they need to nerf all the long range guns. I'll say it right now, I guarantee you they're not really going to buff any long range guns. That's not going to happen.
ARs,
they don't.
You mean?
Anything. LMGs, ARs. I doubt they're going to buff anything in this update. They'll probably nerf the Holger 26, honestly, and then nerf the car and buff nothing.
Yeah,
but
actually true, which is going to suck. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard because like I could see a world where I would still use the car even after a substantial nerf if I can still hit like 2-shot kills on a lot of people. Like if they just today remove the 1-shot potential, I would still use the gun because I'm getting 2-shot kills most of the time anyways. So it's really hard to balance snipers. But I mean, the aim assist thing, like you said, that would be great. I don't think they would ever do that. I did see actually some really good controller players though that were saying that too. They're like, they're not going to do it.
I retweeted a guy. He's like a famous sniper, and he was using the car. And it was just a clip of him playing, like, live streaming. It was just a clip from his live stream where he's like, chat, this is why this gun is, like, not fun and broken and it needs to be nerfed. The aim assist on it is way too strong. Watch. And he just gets, like, 6 kills. And while he's getting them, he's, like, exasperated at how easy it is. Yeah. And he's on controller, like, saying all this.
Because it's those follow-up shots.
The aim assist is just too good on this. Like, this isn't fun. Like, and this is like a sniper guy. I think it might have been Sparrows, actually.
I think it was Sparrows, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like honestly, just nerfing the aim assist alone, making it like sniper aim assist, that would, to be honest, be a good enough nerf for a lot of people to not use it anymore.
For sure.
Because they would not be able to hit their shots if it had aim assist like a cat, which is nothing basically. But I personally just can't see them doing that at all.
I agree.
Because yeah, it's like crazy to watch these clips where guys hit a shot as their bullets rechambering. They're still getting aim assist drag like as they're mid ADS. So by the time they're fully ADS and actually have a visual on the guy, aim assist was like you were getting drag the whole time. So you just hit an immediate follow-up shot and you down the person.
Yeah, exactly.
So like as a lot of other people have talked about too, it does too much damage everywhere in the body. So I think for sure they'll lower that damage everywhere to the chest, the limbs, all of that. And rechambering speed needs a nerf. Or there needs to be like almost like more sway or something when rechambering, so it takes longer to get back on target. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard because if they do those things like get rid of the like lower the fire rate, it's also just going to make the gun really boring to use, and it's not going to have the same feel. So I'm not really sure there's a world where they can nerf it correctly and it still be fun to use. So I kind of have a feeling it's just going to be gutted after this, to be honest.
The thing that's like the reason you would want to use a car over any other sniper is because it's fast. And like, I am not advocating for an aim down sight speed nerf at all. I'm not advocating for a movement speed nerf, a sprint to fire nerf, none of that. Like aim walking nerf, I don't think they should do any of that, because you're right. Then the gun would, then it would just be like any other sniper, except it would look different. Like that, not at all what I would want it to do. I want it to keep that like quick identity, and I don't think that's the problem. Yeah, it's just that it's everything we've already talked about. Yeah, so yeah. I don't know.
And like you buffing said, ARs.
I think you're right. Like being able to two-shot, but require like change the multipliers a lot. I haven't looked at them, but my guess is it is doing way too much damage to the stomach, to everywhere except the head and chest. I think like head, chest, and neck, those multipliers should stay good, so that if you hit 2 shots there, you get a down. But stomach, legs, limbs, arms, side, those damage multipliers, I don't know what they are now, but I bet you they're way too high. Like you shouldn't be able to 2-shot someone in the leg, for example.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, so like that would help a ton too, because then you can still reliably 2-shot people, but you would actually have to have some skill and put your shots in like the thorax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would keep it fun, I think, like you were saying.
So like within 85 meters, you can shoot somebody twice in their foot and they're dead.
Yeah, that's insane. Exactly.
So that needs to change too. Like that should be honestly a 4-shot kill, maybe, if you're only shooting them in the leg. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then even at like 150 meters, if you crack them and get a headshot, obviously that's still doing 250 damage at that point, pretty much. So then you also shoot them once in their leg, which is doing 125 damage, and they're dead. So that's the thing. If you get a crack on somebody at 120 meters, which is easy to do with this gun, you hit a follow-up shot anywhere and the person's down. Yeah. So that's realistically probably what they'll do, is just nerf a bunch of the actual damage to body parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, at 120 plus meters, according to True Game Data, it's doing 250 headshot damage. I don't even know if it should do that much at that range. That even the headshot damage should maybe only be 200, and the legs, instead of 125, should go down to like 75 or something. I don't know.
Something like that.
You'd have to sit there and actually look and kind of do some quick little maths to see what works. Somebody in the chat is saying, by the way, I haven't heard this, maybe Metaphor said it on stream, but Metaphor said for the car, they're nerfing the aim assist, velocity, fire rate, and damage range profiles, specifically for the limbs. And if Metaphor actually said that, he's always been right about leaks. He definitely has some sort of source. So if he actually said that on a live stream, then I would actually believe that they are nerfing aim assist if that came from him.
I wonder how much.
Maybe they just make it like Stalker aim assist, basically. I don't know. But yeah, dude, the biggest thing is just they need to buff other guns. Like, think about what we had back in Warzone 1 when the Kar 98 was broken. The Kar 98 was technically way better back then than it is now, but you had long-range guns that could easily compete. Exactly. You know, you had the AMAX, you had Kilos when they were good. There are so many options.
Grau,
and
Bruen,
the game was
M4.
entirely different for that era too. Like, people now are in general, people still playing Warzone are a lot better than the average player you would run into back then. So some guy having to hit 2 car shots at 200 meters instead of just 1, it doesn't matter. I'm still dead. Everybody's so insane, so.
Yeah.
Oh, he said in his video he uploaded yesterday. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Then I believe that.
Yeah, so we'll see. I also believe it. Nerfing the velocity is interesting. I think that could help somewhat too.
Think they need to do that, but
I don't think they really need to, but I think it could help maybe. It would also make sense to nerf the velocity of it, though. It's like a 100-year-old gun. Like, it shouldn't be firing bullets as quickly as like a, I don't know, stalker, but whatever. We'll see what they do. Okay. We'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, if Metaphor said all that, if it does get a nerf to aim assist, velocity, fire rate, and damage range profiles, it's going to be less good and less annoying. So we'll see if they go too far or not far enough. But moving on from that. Okay, so next, got a little bit about the World Series of Warzone, which has been going on. First of all, here is a look at the first 12 teams to have officially qualified for the 2024 World Series of Warzone Global LAN Finals. Wow. So this is the final leaderboard for NA. I actually am only showing 10 here. And I think they're figuring this out now for EU, like as we speak. We were watching that before the broadcast. But if you take a look at the leaderboard, team number 1, shocker, Team Biffle. Biffle, Hisoka, and Shifty. With a total of 87 kills and 145.6 team score. So they're, I guess, moving on is what that means. And then some other teams. Most of these sound familiar to me. Team Unrational for number 2. I'm going to read these in order. Team Super Evan, Zeppa, Aiden, Swag. I didn't know Swag was even competing.
He's got Adrian and Sage, yeah, 2 of the best players in the world. And they're doing well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he like dead weight on that team, or is he pulling his own?
We always make fun. Well, I make fun of Swag because he's not like top, but he is a really good competitor. I mean, again, he's better than every player in EU by 4 times the amount. Yeah, so
of course
he's not very good for NA. But Sage won World Series of Warzone last year.
Yeah,
so he's really good.
So anyway, they've qualified. Destroy Huskers, which is very surprising because he's on K-Bam. Jowo, also somewhat surprising because they have Breadman, another K-Bammer. And then Braxton for number team 10. And I believe there are 2 other teams that are not in this screenshot, unfortunately.
Yeah, so top 12, all of these guys have a guaranteed spot at LAN. When and where is the LAN? No idea. One of them tweeted that out. It was really funny. They're like, only in Warzone do you find out you've made it to the Warzone LAN Grand Finals and you have no idea when it is or where it's at. I'm like, oh my God, I know.
Yeah, super hilarious. Cool. Yeah.
Hey, you're invited to this event we're doing at some point in time somewhere. Hope you can come.
Yeah, hope you can make it.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah, classic Activision. So good for them, though. That's cool. And then I guess we're going to learn more probably after today. Once the current EU tournament finishes up, which might have finished or is close by now, but
it looks like they're in game 5 right now. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I'd like to take this opportunity, because there isn't much else going on this week anyway, to comment on the match point system. So Tanner and I talked about this a lot because this is a new system this year of scoring for the World Series of Warzone, both the qualifiers and that'll carry forward to the finals as well. And basically, we came to the conclusion, Tanner and I, that it might be slightly less competitive than like a scoring plus multiplier placement only system, but it's still competitive enough, and it makes it way more fun to watch. That was kind of what we thought. Having watched a number of these events now, I 100% stand by that assessment, and Matchpoint has made watching these events way more fun, dude. Way more fun. And the clips are really cool too. Like Tanner and I were talking about.
They're not even doing Matchpoint right now. This isn't Matchpoint.
Really?
Yeah, no, because Matchpoint would mean this is just 6 set games. They're not doing Matchpoint again until LAN, I don't think. That's what they had talked about. Let me try to check the website and look. If it was Matchpoint, these would be ending in 4 games, 5 games, maybe 9 games. They just play 6 matches right now, and your best scores or your 6 matches are all added up, and that's how
my mistake.
how it's played.
I didn't.
Yeah, this isn't Matchpoint yet.
Well, some of them have been, because
the scrims have been, yes, but like the actual World Series of Warzone qualifiers, the NA one that we're talking about, and the EU one going on today, that's not match point.
Interesting.
But they've been scrimming a lot of match point, yes. Like a couple weeks ago.
Do the scrims count toward your qualification at all?
Not the ones related? You were watching. No, it's just basically practice that Polish Czech has been doing.
Oh, and then there was some money for some of them, and that's why people cared also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I got mixed up.
I got the things written down. New to this year's global final, match point will be introduced, where you can expect all the intensity of a first place match finish and global final. Yeah, so that's not until the LAN again, it looks like. I don't think Last Chance Qualifiers has it either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that changes a little bit what I was going to say. But basically what I was going to say is like the event, I guess I've been watching more scrims then, because it makes I like the match point system a lot. I think it's a lot more fun to watch. It makes the games just way more interesting, especially the longer the tournament goes, the more is on the line for each round, because more and more teams get to match point. And that's been really fun to watch. And the content has been really good too. Like Tanner and I were talking about a crazy play by, I think it was Hisoka or Shifty. They got like the craziest
Shifty,
match point.
I think, yeah.
Ooh, match point win. Or he was like the last one alive, and it was like him and like two other teams, and his team is on match point. I don't know if the other teams were, but he has the craziest play where he like running in gas to like a vehicle, throws a portable decontamination on it, gets inside of it, drives to a buy station. The buy station activates because he has the decontamination station. He buys himself a gas mask, gets back in the car, drives over to the other two teams, and then it's like 1v1v1 eventually. He kills them both, and then because he's on match point, there was a lot on the line there, and that crazy play actually won him that scrim or that tournament or whatever. How cool is that, dude? You're not getting that with like just the scoring point system. I mean, you'd still get the clip, I guess, but like knowing that was for the win, and if he can win this match, he wins the whole tournament, the whole shindig, it makes it way cooler, like actually. And I don't know, I've been enjoying it tremendously, and I'm glad the finals are going to be that way. But also, now I'm just annoyed that the qualifiers aren't scored this way. I'm glad they're doing the scrims this way so I can see more match point events, but frankly, I think all the official qualification events leading up to the finals should also be match point. I don't see the downside of doing that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think why they wouldn't do that. I think in general, maybe it takes longer. Maybe, I don't know. I don't fully get it either. Yeah.
Well, maybe because it's a winner-take-all system and you need multiple teams to qualify. Maybe that's why. But you could always take scores and then the tournament ends once someone gets match point. That's probably what it is, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That clip you were watching was that was from one of the scrims, because I was thinking like I saw that clip, but that wasn't in the NA tournament, was it? But no, that was from a scrim. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty wild. But you do get a lot of exciting stuff, and like when that happens, that's the end of the tournament. Like that is so hype.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just so hype.
And like watching the clip, it's like the clip is from Polish Czech, so they're doing a watch party live. Yeah. So you hear them commentating, and they're screaming.
They're like
at their mics, like, dude, this is crazy, and it's so hype. Yeah, it's like so cool.
Yeah, it's like he ran so far into gas to get in a Hummer and then throw a portable decontamination station on that, drive all the way to the circle, and then he starts running everybody over. And he also has a durable, so he like runs people over, he's hurting them, then he just basically drives far into gas again, and they all end up like dying to gas. It was wild.
He does shoot a little bit, but yeah, they're basically
he does shoot
like
a little bit, but I think they're basically, I think they end up dying to gas. It was just such a
smart play. Yeah. Like such a hype cool play. But anyway, yeah. So So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up. Those are the teams that have qualified. I don't know what the last two are, but
let's see how FIFA's doing. Oh, FIFA's alive still.
That's good.
Interesting.
So we'll keep you guys posted on that. Unlike last year, unlike last year certainly. I'm way more invested in the World Series of Warzone this year. Honestly, mostly for two reasons. Primarily, honestly, because the game is just way more fun this year. So it's better to watch for that reason. Because like people can move their characters. But also the match point system is definitely getting me more invested than I would otherwise be. I'm really excited to watch the LAN with that system.
It's a lot more exciting this year. Surprisingly enough, even last year I thought the World Series of Warzone was still interesting because it all comes down to late game. So like the awful movement and gunplay we had in MW2, it's not as noticeable when there are 50 people in two buildings next to each other, you know? True. So it was still somewhat exciting, but yeah, this year I'm loving it this year.
Yeah. Yeah. You think we'll get another water ending, by the way?
Should we go to the LAN if it's in like LA or something? Do a little LAN?
We could. Maybe.
Yeah, we certainly could. They'll probably if they do it in the US, it'll be in either like probably Vegas, Dallas, or here, LA.
It would be Vegas, LA, San Diego, or like somewhere in Texas probably.
San Diego.
Maybe New York, probably be too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Just thought we'd keep you guys posted on that. Warzone! But yeah, we will be following the World Series Warzone. And by the way, I'll just mention it now. For that LAN final, we will probably do a watch party.
Oh, FIFA's team is dead. Yeah.
We did that last year, and it was fun. And screaming at how dumb the game is. You think we'll get another water ending, by the way? Like we did last year? Do you remember that? Under the pier?
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Was that at World Series of Warzone, or was that? No, that was Last Chance Qualifiers, wasn't it? Because that team made it to LAN because of that.
Yeah.
Guess what? That team that won that water ending, I'm pretty sure got like second to last place.
Yeah, of course.
Something.
And then like Huskers team and like a bunch of other really good teams just got screwed because of water. It was such a travesty, but yeah. Today's episode is brought to you by us and our Patreon, where we offer our members all of our episodes early access and ad-free. Starting at just $5 a month at the gold tier, patrons also get 3 raw, uncensored Call of Duty bonus episodes every month, in addition, of course, to every bonus episode we've ever done in the past, and a unique Discord role as well. Our most recent bonus episode just went live today, and it is all about Black Ops 6 Zombies and what we can expect. So we went really deep into official sources, unofficial sources, leaks, speculation on what we can expect for Zombies this year, and it was a lot of fun. That sounds interesting. You can sign up at any tier and go listen right now. And if you wanted more content, you could always go to a higher tier. For example, Platinum, $10 a month, gets you everything from the gold tier, plus one Q&A episode where only you guys can ask the questions or hear the answers, which we have also already done for this month, so that is available right now. And then Damascus for $20 a month gets all of that, plus a behind-the-scenes episode, which we have not done yet, but it's going to be a banger this month because a lot's been going on behind the scenes. A monthly Damascus-only patron hangout, and access to the Discord Damascus Lounge, where most of the activity in the Discord happens. Keep in mind, next month, all patrons, we're going to have Rebirth Island Customs for. So sign up at any tier, and you can play some Rebirth Customs with all of us. Did you hate hearing this ad? Sign up for the Patreon. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Let's get back to the show.
You know what else they might get screwed by this year? We have a new bug.
Monkeypox?
Tommy tweeted it out. Tommy is a Warzone competitor. So like yesterday at some point he tweeted out, found out there's a bug in World Series of Warzone Customs where some players were getting pings on every ghosted player while moving off of one UAV.
Oh no.
Literally just chalked our last game and potentially earlier ones. So he put 2 clips side by side, his POV and Aiden's POV. So he's rotating into Lowtown. He's ghosted, moving the whole time. He's just showing the clip, proving that he's ghosted. They end up getting shot at and whatever, they die. he doesn't show very much from the clip. It's like 20 seconds, but you can see he's moving and he's ghosted. So then he goes to Aiden's POV after the tournament and everything. They're going through things, looking at stuff. Aiden is in one of the buildings close to him. His teammate pops a UAV, so one UAV, not an advanced UAV. If it's an advanced UAV, you see ghosted players. One UAV, if they're moving, you do not see them. There are 2 or 3 sweeps that you see. Aiden sees him moving in the whole time. He's updating like he's not ghosted.
Would a comms vest do that?
Nope, because those are not in customs.
Oh, okay.
There are no comms vests.
Got it.
So yeah. So there's another fun bug.
Yeah.
So a classic bug. There's always going to be one. That's really bad because all of these players are ghosted. They all run ghost in this.
And
that's why you see like Biffle,
Soka,
yeah, and Shifty only popping advanced UAVs. They don't pop a UAV pretty much unless it's an advanced, which is why they do recons, all these random contracts to get money so they can just, I mean, they pop like 3-4 advanced UAVs every single match because there's no point in popping one. Every single one's ghosted. But yeah, so I guess this isn't even working this way for everybody. I guess like Aiden's teammate right next to him wouldn't necessarily see him. So it's like only for some people it's bugged for. So just classic Warzone issues that will plague the LAN Grand Final. And once again, I'm very excited to see what kind of issues we have at LAN.
Yeah.
I just want to see a game-breaking bug so bad.
It seems to happen every single year because Activision just cannot figure it out. And the worst part is that a lot of these bugs that you get in these custom lobbies are just not actual bugs on like in pubs, like online. So you're not even going to notice it before you're at the World Series of Warzone dying because you thought you were ghosted, but you're actually not. That's the worst part. And this has been a thing in Warzone. I don't know why, but literally since Warzone came out, the rule set and the bugs and the features and the mechanics in customs have never been the same as they are online. There's always some weird thing that's just different in customs unintentionally for no reason. And no one knows why, including obviously, of course, the devs. So is this a bug online or not? I'd venture to say, yeah, it might be because there have been weird UAV bugs this whole year. So it's possible this is an online bug, but it's also possible it's not because again, every single time, and right now, I guarantee it. I can't name what the bugs are, but there are things where they just work differently in customs for no reason, and no one knows why, and it's not intentional.
Well, the biggest one was when it takes longer to revive somebody in customs. That was in customs for what, a year and a half? You remember that
Probably
one? Was that
longer.
Warzone 1?
It was Warzone 1. That's the example I was going to bring up. So one example is, back in Warzone 1, it was just the case that a res, if you res your teammate, it would take you 8 seconds if you're in a custom lobby, for example. Whereas if you were online, it would take you 5 seconds for no reason. That wasn't on purpose. It wasn't a part of the rules. It just worked that way. No one knew why. And it was like that for a very long time. So just little random things like that are always in customs and different than online. And now it happens to be this bug, which is a disaster. This is a really big deal. This is a bigger deal than res is taking longer, actually. Because I'm using first of all, if I'm running the ghost perk, that means I'm sacrificing other really good perks. Like I could be running high alert and I'm not. I guess that's it, actually. What other good perks are? Flex. I could be running flex, and I'm not. Instead, I'm running ghost, so like there's this huge opportunity cost. But then on top of that, I assume I will never be on UAV if I'm moving. And when I am moving and someone pops a UAV, I now just don't know if I'm on their radar or not.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like you might not be, but you might be. So that's competitive.
Yep.
Just super dumb.
So he thinks it's only in customs, but who knows? This could be in pubs. And actually, just to clarify, him and his teammate who were running in next to each other were both ghosted, and Aiden saw both of them on the one UAV sweep. So, yeah, Unfortunately, I don't remember any game-breaking bugs ruining anything at the LAN last year. I wanted it super bad, but unfortunately, I think everything worked
didn't happen
properly. Yeah, we were a little upset by that, but hopefully this year. There's always this year, you know?
Yeah. You know what bug I absolutely could see ruining someone's tournament is I experienced this bug online. They have since fixed it, but I doubt they fixed it in customs also. The bug where you are in the water and your character just doesn't pull their pistol out. I literally died to this. I died because it's supposed to be that if you're in the water, you will always pull a pistol out. Unless you like swim to the surface and switch. But even then, if you go back underwater, you'll go back to your pistol. That's how it should work. I had a bug where my pistol just would not come out, and I would easily have killed this guy, but he just swims right up to me. His pistol's working, and I just can't do anything. I literally can't shoot him back, and then I'm dead. There's a clip of it in our Discord, actually, if you want to go look through that. It was very annoying. They fixed that, or at least they said they did, fairly recently, a couple months ago, probably, after that happened to me. But that is a perfect example of the type of thing that I bet you is still a bug in custom lobbies, even if it's not a bug anymore online. That's exactly the type of thing that would be a customs only unique, fun and exciting bug / feature. Yeah. I could easily see someone in this custom tourney at LAN, their pistol will not come out and they die and they don't place anymore, and they otherwise might have on the LAN for that reason. Clip me now. What? I would not be that surprised, dude. I really wouldn't.
You're reminding me of something I'm pretty sure happened in Warzone 2. I don't think it was at LAN. I think it was in one of the tournaments leading up to it. But I swear I thought it was like FIFA maybe. He was on a ladder, and after he got up the ladder, his gun wouldn't come out. So he gets to the roof, and then he just gets killed because his gun would not come out. Something like that happened in one of the tournaments.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that happened too. Also, there's been one since the Superi came out. Your gun you can't do anything with it sometimes. If you've played the game this season, you've experienced it because it's happened 5 times at least to me. I don't know how you trigger it, but you'll run out of ammo with your Superi and you can't do anything. You can't reload it. You can't shoot. You're just bugged. And that's happened numerous times this season. So
yeah.
There will be something for sure.
And the frustrating thing about this, again, is that it's not so much the bug. Because, like, Warzone is incredibly complicated, and there are like a billion mechanics, and most of them work as they should, reliably, most of the time. And when a bug becomes discovered, like the not pulling your pistol out underwater, for example, they usually fix it quickly enough, and the fix is usually good. It usually works. So, for example, I have not had that water pistol problem since they said they fixed it. The problem is that these changes they make and these bug fixes they do, for whatever reason that defies logic, does not carry over to their custom lobbies. And I don't know why. I don't know why that's hard for them to do, but it obviously is. So the problem isn't so much that this bug exists where you can be ghosted and still show up on a UAV sweep. These things happen. I get it. It's a big game with a lot going on. There will be bugs, and they won't get it right on launch day. But the problem is that they will fix them, and it will be fixed online, but it won't be fixed in customs. And that's a really big deal when you have $1 million tournament in a custom lobby. Make them the same. How hard is it? I'm not a game dev, so I don't understand why that's difficult or if it's difficult. But either way, whether it's difficult or not, fix it, change it, make them the same, make everything behave exactly the same. Have all the code be identical in customs and online. And then you won't have these problems anymore, like period. Because bugs get found immediately online. There are so many players, it's going to happen. So I don't know. It's insane. we will see what game-breaking bug plagues some player at the World Series of Warzone and loses them the game. We'll keep you posted, of course. So
yeah.
Anyway,
we're gonna do this part next here because the last things are about Black Ops. So last thing before we get into kind of some few more little Black Ops things in a leak.
Yeah.
Charlie Intel tweeted this out a few days ago. So Call of Duty was the most played game on PlayStation and Xbox for the first week of June.
Wow.
So wow, people say it's, a lot of people like to say it's dying, it's dead. It's real popular. So number one game, PlayStation, Xbox, and keep in mind, Charlie Intel didn't mention this, but it was also number 9 on Steam. That's pretty wild, considering Steam is not the majority of the PC player base at all. It's absolutely Battle.net. And it's in top 10 with, like, Destiny 2, Counter-Strike, Helldivers, Elden Ring, Rocket League. Those are popular games on Steam, and this is in the top 10 with them. So it's doing well right now. People are liking the game.
Yeah.
They're really liking the game, so, yeah.
Yeah, people saying COD is dying is always insane. And I think when people say that, a lot of them mean relative to how COD used to be or should be or whatever, which is fair. Because there are times when COD really does feel dead. Like during Caldera, there was a time where COD, it truly felt dead. And by COD standards, it was dead. There were way fewer people than, 3 months prior to that event or time. But dead COD is still a top 3 most played game on Earth. COD is not gonna actually die by any objective measure ever. So how popular is COD right now compared to, I don't know, a month ago or 3 months ago or 6 months ago? I don't know. It might be less popular, but compared to other video games, it's still incredibly popular. And that is just not going to change. And you know what didn't change this, by the way? XDefiant. You guys remember when XDefiant was going to kill COD or compete with COD or make COD change or have any impact whatsoever on Call of Duty? I remember you guys saying that. For example, JKN. Guess what? I was right and you were wrong. Game's already dead. XDefiant is already dead. So just keep that in mind. It's already dead. No one's talking about it anymore. I see a couple people I follow still occasionally play it, like the AIM nerds, Enders is playing it a little bit. Nate Gibson's playing it a little bit. But no one else is. It's no one who's a Call of Duty player is. It's a dead game. It's not.
I think
a
lot of the CDL players like it a lot, actually. Pretty sure a lot of the CDL players. That's
interesting because they're not playing it.
Well, because they're in the CDL. They have been. A lot of them have been. Scump was playing it every single day. And
how many viewers does XDefiant have on Twitch right now? Let's just check that out. Let's see. Let's see. So I'm gonna search first. I'm gonna search Call of Duty Warzone.
6.9 thousand.
Oh, Warzone has 125,000.
Yeah,
now,
Warzone's popping off right now.
To be fair,
that's a lot right now.
But still, even if it was half of that, it would be more than 10 times the amount of viewers XDefiant.
I think XDefiant will make a resurgence when their ranked mode comes out. Because those are the tweets I keep saying now. Is they're there's no point in playing the game right now because they haven't launched ranked and they mess with the gun leveling system. So now the guns have 200 levels or something. So I think it'll make a little resurgence once we get ranked play. Honestly,
I don't. Game sucks. Anyways, so yeah, whatever. Call of Duty is still popular, shocker. And it's going to get even more and more popular, by the way, as the BO6 hype starts. Because that's another thing that happens too, is obviously a bunch of people come back to the franchise when the new game comes out. But I feel like there's usually also a little uptick once teasers and stuff start coming out for the next game. So after the beta of BO6, I bet you there's going to be a marked spike in Call of Duty MW3 players and Warzone players because people are going to be excited about the next COD, so they're going to like, Jesus, put some time in on this one. Did your cat just die?
Somebody got attacked, probably. MW3, by the way, still has less viewers than XDefiant right now. That is true. 4.5 thousand.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah.
MW3 sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
sucks.
Yeah, everyone plays Warzone. So, anyways, which is, by the way, and that's why I said XDefiant was going to be dead, is because it's an arcade shooter and no one cares anymore about arcade shooters. And MW3, without Warzone, is an arcade shooter. So no crap that it's dead. Also, I believe it. So, anyways, moving on from that, we do have some stuff regarding BO6. Not too much this week, but a couple of interesting things, actually.
Yeah. This first one's interesting as a word.
Tell us about this first one, man.
So why don't you pull up this map?
Okay, we got a little map
So
here,
this is a map. That's interesting, huh?
Wow.
So one of the leakers, Reality UK, is saying, after looking at this again, I can almost guarantee this will be the first new Resurgence map for Black Ops 6. Its code name is T10 SM Marina. And SM refers to Resurgence maps basically all the time, he says. It probably stands for like small map in Resurgence.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So yeah.
Is the idea that the thing circled is the map, or the whole picture is the map?
No, the whole picture. If you look at the tweet that I put in the notes, it's just circling one of the buildings from the gameplay from Direct.
Got it.
So one of the buildings in the background. So
okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is a lot of water. And it's not just water on the outskirts. It's a giant wide river right down the middle of the map with 2 bridges, 2.5 bridges connecting it. So if this is the Resurgence map we're getting, hey, I'm a little worried. It won't matter if we have Verdansk, I won't ever play it, or if we have Rebirth, but this looks like it could be the worst Resurgence map.
I'm not even worried. I guarantee it'll suck.
It will be terrible.
There's no way this would play well. There's no way.
I mean, this is like the
water, and it's dead center also. It'll always be relevant. This is really bad.
I mean, pretty much half of your matches probably you'll have to cross that.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Unless they're adding I don't know, jetpacks to BO6 and we don't know it yet, and you can just jetpack across the water or grappling hooks. This will be a terrible Resurgence map. So yeah, really, really, really bad, and I hope this leaker is wrong, because that is not promising. So, this is
why when we first learned there would be swimming in like Warzone, this is the reason I was worried. Is I was like, okay, well, if there's water prominent in an average game, it's gonna suck. And luckily, we didn't really get that many maps that had water being super common, with the exception of, I would say, Vondel. I think there's just too much water on that map. But this was what I was worried about when they added swimming to Warzone. Is them goofing and releasing a map like this. Yeah. If this is a Resurgence map, and this is the orientation where that waterway is literally dead center, through bifurcating the entire map in 2 with a giant water canal, out inlet, whatever, this map will suck. It'll suck. It won't be good. It'll be bad, and it won't be fun. Period. You will always have to deal with it. Almost every match at some point you're going to have to deal with that. Now that'll mean you are smart and you're not in the water and you're zoning people from the coast. But even that is not like particularly fun gameplay. I don't love seeing a guy swimming, shooting at him right where his body is and not getting hit reg, for example. So even that wouldn't be fun, frankly. But it certainly wouldn't be fun being the guy swimming, getting shot at like a fish inside of a barrel. And it wouldn't be fun having to do it every single match. This would be terrible, of course. So yeah, I hope this leaker is wrong as well. It kind of blows my mind that this would even be considered by a dev, especially a Treyarch dev, because they're usually good with their maps. So this would be a massive out of character fumble for that studio. But I could see it, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. They probably aren't really making the Warzone maps. Usually it's like other studios. Like, for example,
too.
High Moon designed Ashika, so it's not
a good point.
like the main studio that's doing.
And they also designed, they designed Castles, so they're terrible. So yeah, they would do something like this, yeah.
Now, I don't know where this image came from. I assume it was in the direct gameplay somewhere, but I don't remember seeing it. You know, it may have been just in the background for something, and somebody took a screenshot. But also, the same thing happened in MW 2, and we talked about it, and everyone else talked about it, and said this is going to be the new Warzone map. And it was what was that region called? It was like the South America region. Las Almas.
Yeah.
That's what we all thought was going to be the new Warzone map. That map ended up being nothing. It was just literally a map on the wall of the region.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it could be this too, because this looks so bad. Like you would think, oh, they know better. I don't think they would design this as a Resurgence map. So hopefully it's just one of those things where it's another Las Almas.
Yeah, I agree with you though. This almost certainly would play really poorly. I struggle to think of how this, unless the only thing they could do, which is possible, is put a ton of horizontal zips over the water, similar to in Urzikstan, the horizontal zips that go across the water that's like east of Popov. There's like the buy station there, and then you can zip to like a tiny little island, and then you can zip again across the water farther to the other side. If they had like a ton of those, that would make this map way less cancerous. Still wouldn't be good though, but
that would still not be good at all. Yeah,
it would help a lot if there were, but there'd have to be like a ton of them also, which I just don't see them doing. I could see them doing like 2 or 3 maybe, but I mean that water is going through the whole center of the map, so you would need like 10, and then even then it would be just better for there not to be water at all. So
yeah, and if somebody knows you have to cross that, it's going to be bad.
Exactly. Yeah, just so easy to rip people that way. Yeah. So, or a ton of balloons, I guess. I mean, that's the other possibility, is that there are like between horizontal zips and balloons that are like always on the coast or close enough to shoot you across. That could make it more palatable. I mean, I would assume both of those things would be in if this were to be the Resurgence map, but still can't always hit them. You can shoot down balloons, and like it just wouldn't be good. It just wouldn't be a good idea. So yeah, I hope they're wrong. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yep.
Anyway, last thing here is a couple of things from BO6 Direct that we've kind of already talked about. Basically, these are 2 Charlie Intel tweets, and I don't know if he knows something we don't, or if he's just making assumptions. Because these are things we saw in Black Ops 6 Direct, but he's like extrapolated 2 things that I found interesting that I did not extrapolate. So here's the first tweet. This was on the 15th from Charlie Intel. Omni movement in BO6 will be in campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, and it will be in Warzone later when the game integrates. Treyarch also confirmed that the new movement is part of the unified COD engine, so iDub or Sledgehammer can use it in their future games too. So none of this really is new information except the last part. We are getting Omni movement in campaign, multiplayer, zombies, and it'll be coming to Warzone. We already knew all that. We already talked about that. I'm in favor of it. But one thing Tanner and I had said was like, okay, because we were kind of making fun of one of the devs in the Direct video where he says, once you play with Omni movement, you'll never go back, or you'll never be able to go back. And then Tanner kind of laughed and he was like, well, I'll have to for the next year. That like or whatever.
For the next Infinity Ward game.
For the next Infinity Ward game. So don't say that. But Charlie Intel is at least implying that Omni movement would come back to the next iDub game, or at least it could. So that's the
Yeah,
thing.
he's just yapping, I think. He's just saying because Treyarch is finally building their games on the same engine as iDev, whereas it used to be separate. So it would theoretically be easy, I'm sure, to integrate that into future games. Yeah, that are made from other dev studios. I don't think he's saying it's going to be, though. That's the way I take it, at least.
I think you're right.
It's just kind of a yap.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, but I think that is worth pointing out because what that means is if it is possible to like utilize Omni movement in the future, since it was built on this unified engine, which I believe is true. I just never really thought about it, but that does seem like it makes sense. Like if COD 2025, they want to use Omni movement, I think they'll be able to, and it'll be pretty easy. If that's true, that's a really good thing because if Omni movement is good and fun and people enjoy it, they'll bring it back because they can easily. Good. And if it's not popular and people don't like it and people don't want to bring it back, they don't have to. So,
yeah.
You know, again, this isn't information that's like, I don't know, new necessarily, but we never really thought about it or talked about it. So I figured I would mention it. If you're very worried about Omni movement being bad for the game, I would say don't worry too much because they wouldn't have to bring it back. I mean, we've seen tac sprint in one game and then no tac sprint in the next game and then tac sprint again in the third game. So there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to do that with Omni movement if they wanted to. Like Omni movement's in BO6, it's not in COD 25. It comes back in COD 26 or whatever. That's a possibility. So I think this is kind of like the best case scenario, provided the devs listen to player feedback and implement Omni movement or not, depending on how popular it is in future titles. So I just thought I would point that out.
Yeah.
And then another Charlie Intel tweet was this, which is, again, I don't know if he knows something we don't or if he's just assuming, but he said on June 18th, Charlie Intel, in Black Ops 6, across multiplayer and campaign, you can use enemy players as a meat shield. Now, this is not a big deal, but nowhere in that Black Ops 6 Direct was it confirmed to me that I could use meat shields in multiplayer. It looked like a campaign feature where you'd be able to take some guy as a meat shield and use him as cover while you're shooting. That's like obviously a campaign thing. If that's in Black Ops 6 Direct, it's definitely going to be in campaign. But I did not know, and I actually made a point to say, I have no idea if this is coming to multiplayer or not. I kind of doubt it. But according to Charlie Intel, it is coming to multiplayer. I don't know if, again,
I think
he knows something
about that.
I don't or not, but that was not confirmed explicitly in BO6 Direct.
Oh, I guess I just figured it was multiplayer because like the times it was showing it, it looked like they were showing off multiplayer.
It did look like multiplayer,
it wasn't like a
yeah.
campaign mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just assumed it would be multiplayer the whole time. Nobody will use it though. Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, this isn't that big of a deal.
That's what you had said then too. It's like you're not going to use it when you can just kill the guy in most situations.
Yeah.
It would just be like funny to like mess with people who are really bad and take him as a meat shield.
It would be funny in like search too. Like if you're like I don't know 6v2 or whatever, and you're up like 4-0, and so obviously the other team's terrible, and you see some guy just like prone on a roof and he has no idea you're there, just to take him as a meat shield and then just start walking around bullying him. That's hilarious. But yeah, I'm not bringing this up because it's important. I'm just bringing it up just to flag it that it does seem like, according to Charlie Intel, it will be in multiplayer also, which will be hilarious, but it won't matter at all. Yeah.
Dude, just like imagine playing some late night plunder, taking some burger bot as a meat shield, killing his teammates. That's the best. That's better than finishing moving someone. You take him as a meat shield, kill his teammates, finishing move him. Like, oh my god, there's no better kill in Warzone. No, probably not.
It would be
I don't
funny,
know.
though.
If they're adding the Omni movement stuff and they're already making changes like that, I can see it being the case, but it's just makes more sense to have in multiplayer, I think, just because the maps are smaller, you're in combat constantly with people. close quarters, so it makes sense just grab somebody. But yeah,
I honestly, again, because it's so because it's not overpowered at all and it's barely useful, if at all, I actually do hope it comes to Warzone, because that would make for some great TikToks. Some really funny content. Especially with VoIP on, you find some little kid who's VoIPing to his teammate in, I don't know, Lowtown, and he's just crouched in a window, mounted, looking for your buddy. Meanwhile, you sneak up behind him and you just take him as a meat shield and start BMing him in voice and make a cool TikTok edit of it. That would be hilarious. That would make for some great content.
Yeah, that would.
Or you take him to no, you can't take him to a ledge and drop him. They have parachutes. You could troll people in some way, though. Drag him in front of the train and then drop him at the last second so he gets run over. Or in front of a car.
If it worked that way, that could be dope. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of funny things you could
in Red Dead, tying people up. Yeah, throwing them off cliffs, throwing them in front of a train, drowning them. Just imagine that in a Warzone. So imagine being able to tie up some guy in Warzone and just go drop him in the water or something. He drowns.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Exactly. So
that reminds me of a funny VoIP moment earlier when Cope and I were playing. We were fighting these two teams, terrible players. And I downed one of them, full him. And then before that, I had downed his teammate. And his team, they're on VoIP the whole time. It's crazy that still in June of 2024, people do not understand that their VoIP in Warzone can be heard by everyone around them if they have their in-game VoIP on like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's this guy's oh, I have a self. I'm going to self. And I know he's selfing because he's yelling it. And then he runs away. He's like, he didn't know. I'm going to get away. And then as he's running away, I shoot him in the back. And he's like, bro, how did this guy know I selfed? And I'm just laughing. I'm like, oh my God.
That's hilarious.
I can't believe these kids still don't realize that everybody around them can hear them.
Yeah. Classic. So anyway.
Warzone.
Nah. Just a couple of things I thought I would point out for you guys. So yeah, very light week. That's pretty much it. Just some announcements before we go. And yeah, so first announcement I'll say is on Saturday, hopefully we have a roadmap by then, and that's what we'll cover on Saturday. If not, we will maybe take a look at some of the World Series of Warzone stuff going on. Maybe we'll do both, because the roadmap, if we get one, might not be very much. This is, after all, not a new season. It's just a season reloaded. So if the roadmap is meager enough, which I absolutely could see happening, we will cover that and some World Series of Warzone stuff, like what teams are in the standings, what's been going on, things like that, on Saturday, our next episode. So stay tuned for that. And then now I would like to thank our new patrons. Welcome! Our new gold patrons, Joey W., Brian B., Adam, and Andreas O. Wow, boys, you did it. Welcome to the Patreon at the gold tier. We appreciate all of you. Also, we got some upgraders here. Jay Hendricks upgrading from gold to platinum, getting that Q&A app every month. Thank you for the upgrade, Jay Hendricks. Change it. Much appreciated. And most importantly, we got some new Damascus patrons. Moose, the World Series of Warzone wannabe, and Colton B. Absolute Chads. I have not played a full game of Resurgence with Moose, ranked Resurgence, and lost, by the way. Literally every game I've played with Moose, ranked Resurgence, in Diamond 3 lobbies, we have gotten first place, except for the game where Lag just left. Just queued and then left. So shout out to Moose for that, and more for becoming a Damascus patron. We appreciate that. And also, Colton B, again, welcome, buddy. And Thomas G is upgraded to Damascus as well. Thank you, Tommy boy. We appreciate that. Patreon.com/thedropshot. And if you want to be a new patron, if you want me to read your dumb name, you could always sign up for free for the month of June at patreon.com/thedropshot. And we did get some more new free trial members. I will acknowledge you now. Chris D, Ryan M, Joey W, And some of these are overlaps. You'll figure it out. DK Line Sim Gaming, Ducky M, and Brian B. Some of you have become patrons since then, but some of you haven't. And you've been acknowledged as free trial patrons. I don't thank you. I'll thank you when you become a patron, because right now you're freeloading. You're a free rider, and you're exploiting my labor.
Yes.
So until you stop doing that, I'm not thanking you, but I will acknowledge that you've gone to patreon.com/thedropshot and scammed us by getting all of that bonus content, ad-free content, and early access content for free. Patreon.com/thedropshot. And then again, yeah, we just did a zombies episode on the Patreon.
Zombies.
So if you want to listen to that, you can do it for free this month. And if you're already a patron, you can go listen to that. We went into just all the details we know thus far about BO6. Some nerd on Reddit made a very comprehensive post that we used as kind of a guide that was, again, very comprehensive and talked about basically everything we know so far about BO6 zombies and some leaks and like very likely speculation as well. And one of the most exciting things, there was a lot we talked about, so go listen to the episode if you want to hear everything, obviously. But what the most exciting thing in that episode that we talked about was the potential for water zombies, which you guys might be confused. Raz, I thought you hated water in FPS games. In competitive ones, I do, but in zombies, when I'm fighting AI, if you're going to have water, use it. So they're going to be like zombie otters and seals and sharks and stuff, probably. Or tentacle dogs. That was like one of the explicitly leaked things. That sounds pretty cool, dude. That sounds pretty interesting, and it'll freshen up zombies a lot. So we talked about a lot more, but that was like the most exciting thing. I'm looking real forward to zombies. Wouldn't you say, buddy?
God, it sounds so perfect, man. Yeah. It sounds so good. I cannot wait. Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds fantastic. So very excited for zombies. Man, it's going to be hard to even play multiplayer, dude. On launch, if zombies is as fun as I think it's going to be. Ooh, I'm excited. Maybe Little Zombies early access too. We talk a little bit about that. We'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. So
yeah, zombies early access would go bonkers too, which is possible.
So to round off the month, we got what? We got the Damascus Behind the Scenes to go out next week. That'll be recorded Monday or Tuesday. And then probably some sort of Season 3 Reloaded episode for the last Goldilocks up.
Yeah, that's probably going to be our last gold episode, bonus episode for this month. So you can listen to all that and much more, our whole back catalog. And you can do it for free, patreon.com/thedropshot. All right, that's it, boys and girls. We will see you on Saturday with maybe a roadmap and maybe some World Series of Warzone stuff, maybe some other stuff. It all depends on Activision. So thank you for watching and listening. Stay humble.
Stay humble.